Welcome back everyone, Zaf here. We have a new developer note and there are some interesting changes coming. A lot of them aren't major, but some of them will impact our damage and some of them might actually bring us some nerfs. Very interesting, I'm going to read them over. So Battle Experience recently, as various tests and strategies regarding hunters and weapons have been conducted, discrepancies have occurred between what is stated in the in-game tooltips and what is actually applied in the game. We sincerely apologize. So first off, we have Min. So there is no actual changes being applied besides text changes here. It does say here that the power gauge recovery value for Min's Divine Punishment skill description will be changed from 5% to 50% and will be reflected as 50% recovery for the entire team rather than individual recovery, but this description will be modified to match the current 50% application. So it's already 50%, these are just text changes, and the tier 1 description will change from light attribute to the entire team, since it is currently being applied to the entire team, and the description will be modified accordingly, so no real changes here. Min is staying the same, they're just updating the text he has. Now for Jiwoo, we do have some changes here, I'm hoping they're not too major. So Jiwoo's advancement tier 5 effect. So I guess only pay-to-win people can really experience this. The critical hit rate was being applied at 32%. However, there was an issue where the combined total was not fully reflected when it was added to other critical hit rate effects, which will be fixed. Please note that the final value may change due to monster level based critical hit resistance. This is interesting, I don't recall us ever having this before, since this is not a stat we have in the game as far as I'm aware, but I guess monsters do have a level of crit resistance, so I wonder if defense pen will affect this, but I don't know if this is new or if this is just a stat that's always been there. I'm assuming the tougher the monsters are, the higher their crit rate resistance is, so if our base is 50%, and they have 50% crit resistance, we'll only have a 25% rate. But again, I never saw this stat ever being referred to before. Let me know if you're aware of this. This is news to me. I'm not sure if this is a new feature or this is something that's always been there, but it's a hidden stat. I know for Jiwoo and our hunters, we don't have this stat. We have all the defense stats, but nothing for crit resistance, so we'll have to see what that's all about. And also the advancement tier 4 effect, increasing max HP by 15% of crit hit damage, is currently being applied by converting the percent increase in critical damage from artifact stat effects to HP. The description will be modified to make this clear. Okay, so it looks like before, we assumed our total critical hit damage amounts were being converted to HP, but I guess that's not the case, it was just from artifact stats, so this just makes it clear. So artifact stat effects only apply to Jiwoo's HP, based on the crit damage they provide. So it says here in further details, please note that the percent increases in critical damage from artifact set effects, team buffs, exclusive weapon effects, etc. will be applied. However, numerical values such as stats from artifact stats will not be converted into HP. Interesting, so I guess we now know how this applies to Jiwoo stats. So only from our artifact set effects, so not that major actually, but I guess that's good to know. Now for Jinwoo's exclusive weapon and skill runes, an issue where Night Killer's telekinesis skill is not correctly applied, up to 10 stacks as attended will be fixed. Okay, that's good. But these two notes here are very important. It looks like Plum is getting a huge buff, at least it'll be doing more damage. So as noted here, an issue where the demonic Plum Flower Sword's Amplifying Draw fails to trigger, the final hit in certain situations after activation will be fixed, and an issue where the Amplifying Draw does not refresh when the Full Bloom skill is activated after a specific awakening of the demonic Plum Flower Sword will be fixed. So if you weren't aware, I'll put it on the screen here. This is what Amplifying Draw is. Increases the chance of the user landing a crit hit on the next attack by 30%, and it also increases skill damage by 32%. So a decent buff. If it isn't being applied, Plum is obviously getting a nice little buff to its damage. We do want the full effect of our weapons kicking in. Every little bit of damage does help us. And also an issue where Sung Jinwoo's damage abnormally increases when using the def stance Wildfire skill rune will be fixed, so I have to try this out. Let's go ahead and use the Death Stance Wildfire skill rune if it does abnormally increase our damage. So let's all give it a try later on, seeing if we get a random damage buff. So they will be fixing this, basically nerfing it based on what we already have right now. But that's good to know. We also have dungeon issues, so some chapter 11 changes. Some other changes here, not too important. Certain dungeon monsters have a freeze resistant effect where they become immune to freeze for a certain duration. The resistance applied, and it's just going into detail for that. Nothing too important to cover there. We do have Min, Jiwoo, and Jinwoo skill rune related adjustments being mentioned above, but we'll implement as soon as possible, okay? So these are coming in very soon, and we will get an announcement for when these get applied. Good to know. Nothing else there, but we do have a Hunter origin. Our team is aimed to expand the soul leveling universe by incorporating original hunters into the game. To achieve this, their stories need to be seamlessly integrated into the game. That's good. There are still numerous untold stories within the game, particularly those surrounded by mysterious original hunters. Among them, we are eager to uncover the secrets of Alicia, the Guild Master of Justicia. I hope I got that right. So Alicia, who recently joined the Gate Raid, harbors a dark past. She lost everything in an accident. During a raid she attended with her father and swore vengeance. Very nice. So I like that they're doing this, bringing in more hunters, and not just hunters, bringing them stories that can actually be read. That is exactly what we want to see with a high quality game like this. And also growth experience. Over the past month, we have observed the artifacts of our hunters and come to two conclusions. Hunters either sell artifacts with specific stats to earn gold, or keep some enhanced as they are. And I forgot one other thing here. Hunters do not unequip artifacts because it costs gold. So we hope that our hunters would enjoy various combat experiences by switching and enhancing multiple artifacts, which they can't do because they cost so much gold to switch out. So we can't experiment. We can only equip one, keep it, unless you want to lose a bunch of gold. But anyways, I digress. One obstacle preventing you from fully enjoying these combat experiences is the limited supply of artifact enhancement chips, primarily the advanced one. To improve this, we are preparing an event where you can use artifacts with non-utilized stats from the enhancement process to obtain items necessary for growth. Okay, these are very good changes being applied. So a buff to how we can get the enhancement chips, that's good. Hopefully they remove the gold cost as well. I'm hoping it changes. I'm sick of paying gold to change my artifacts, as is everyone else, but I digress again. We also have the Faction of the Shield skill level up. That is the hacking detection software. Defense measures against unauthorized program usage and malicious activities are becoming more robust. That's very good. Their team is dedicated to making things fair. That's what we want to see. And starting with the June update, we would like to inform you in advance that repeated detection of malicious activities involving unauthorized programs may result in a ban from the game. Perfect. We don't want hackers constantly making new accounts, ruining the game for everyone else. So this is a welcome change. And it looks like those of you who distribute unauthorized programs will essentially get sued based on how they're stating it here. You won't just get banned, you'll face further punishments beyond game sanctions. Very, very interesting. Cheaters cannot escape the vigilance of the Hunters Association surveillance team. Very, very cool. The devs are clearly on the ball. They have a ton of competition, so they're just pumping out updates, pumping out these notes, which I love reading to you. It's always interesting what changes are coming, and it looks like we have another notice here. Okay, so it's just about new packages. We have a package for the Eternal Slumber. That's just for Min's weapon. Some weapon enhancements, okay. This will probably cost around 3,900 diamonds, but Min's weapon is really not needed, so I doubt this will get much purchase. And we have a lucky gem chest pack, nothing too important there. So yeah, that's basically it for the updates that are coming in. Obviously the devs are just pumping things out non-stop, which they should be. This game is super successful. I will have an update coming showing you just how successful the game has been, so do stay tuned for that. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, drop a like on this video, and leave a comment down below on what you think. This is Zaf signing out.